breaking down an absolutely unforgettable, totally dramatic clash at the Atlanta Stadium. We're looking at a matchup where Thomas Tuchel's England faced a monumental test that honestly almost nobody saw coming, right? This wasn't just your standard football match. It was a tactical roller coaster, it was a psychological battle, and really, it's a prime example of why knockout football is just so incredibly captivating. So we're going to look at exactly how this game unfolded step by step and dig into the critical adjustments that completely flipped the script.
So what happens when a heavy favorite meets a fearless underdog? You've got England stepping onto the pitch, fully expecting to just control early possession and dictate the tempo. Standard stuff. But on the flip side, you have this underdog stepping into a massive historic moment, playing with literally zero fear. And in football, that lack of fear, it's incredibly dangerous. It meant that instead of just sitting back, parking the bus, and waiting to be broken down, they came out absolutely swinging. They shocked the world in those opening minutes and completely rewrote the narrative everyone expected.
And man, they didn't just come out swinging, they connected, and they connected early. Riding the historic high of playing in their first ever World Cup knockout stage match, DR Congo launched a blistering counterattack in just the 7th minute. The execution was simply flawless. Chancel Mbemba floated this deep searching cross that perfectly bypassed the entire English defense, finding Brian Cipenga completely unmarked at the back post. And instead of panicking in that crazy high-pressure situation, Cipenga kept total composure. He drilled a low, powerful right-footed strike straight past Jordan Pickford. Bam! Just like that, it's 1-0. The heavy favorites were absolutely stunned.
From there, the rest of the first half turned into a massive headache for England. They basically ran into an impenetrable wall. After that 7th-minute shocker, Tuchel's squad really struggled to get their usual passing rhythm going. Why? Because of an intensely suffocating Congolese press. They were everywhere. England's first real spark didn't even happen until the 30th minute when Jude Bellingham unleashed a rocket of a header, but goalkeeper Lionel Mpasi made a spectacular diving save. Just moments later, Marcus Rashford looked guaranteed to tie it up from close range, but Aaron Wan-Bissaka heroically cleared it right off the line. And honestly, it almost got way worse for England. Right before the halftime whistle, Yoane Wissa connected with a sharp cross and absolutely rattled the right post. The three Lions limped into the break trailing, and frankly, they were super lucky it wasn't 2-0.
Okay, so here's where things get really interesting. The halftime tactical shift. The first half was completely defined by that relentless Congolese pressing, which forced England into a bunch of rushed, really sloppy passes. They were playing exactly the game DR Congo wanted them to play. But when England came back out of that dressing room, totally different story. They brought a massive, renewed sense of urgency. The whole strategy shifted. Instead of trying to force passes through a super crowded middle, they started using flank pace and building sustained pressure to slowly stretch out and bypass that defensive wall.
And Thomas Tuchel, he didn't just cross his fingers and hope things would get better. He made a huge, decisive move right at the hour mark. Step 1, he brings on Anthony Gordon and Bukayo Saka in the 60th minute. Step 2, this instantly injects a lethal dose of pace straight down the flanks. Think about it. When you throw incredibly fast wingers against a tiring, compact defense, you force those defenders to step out wide. And what does that do? It opens up the middle. This tactical chess move was the exact catalyst needed for Step 3, finally shattering that Congolese resistance. The entire geometry of the pitch just transformed the second those subs were made.
That sustained, wide pressure finally paid dividends in the 75th minute. Out on the wing, Anthony Gordon proved exactly why Tuchel put him in the game. He floated this precise, looping cross right into the 6-yard box. And, who else is going to be waiting right there? Captain Harry Kane. Kane rises powerfully above his marker and just firmly heads the ball home. This equalizer wasn't just a goal, it was this massive, collective release of pressure for a team that had literally been knocking on the door for a grueling 75 minutes.
But guess what? They weren't done. With the terrifying threat of extra time looming over the whole stadium, the captain stepped up yet again in the 86th minute to finish the rescue mission. Kane gets another pass from Gordon right at the edge of the area. With his back to the goal, he spun brilliantly past his defender, arced along the box, and just unleashed this unstoppable, rising rocket straight into the top corner. What a strike! It was a moment of pure individual magic to complete a dramatic turnaround right when his team needed the absolute most.
2-1. That's your final. A seriously hard-fought, grueling victory for the Three Lions. Look, it wasn't the comfortable cruise control that all the pundits predicted, but instead it was a massive testament to their tactical flexibility and just sheer resilience. They took the absolute best punch from a totally fearless opponent, recalibrated their entire approach at halftime, used their bench to absolute perfection, and ground out a result to send them into the next round.
So that brings us to the next chapter.
And here's why this really matters for you moving forward. Having barely survived this incredible scare, England advances to the round of 16 to face the co-hosts, Mexico. But the big takeaway here is this. Does an intense, down-to-the-wire near defeat like this expose a team's fatal flaws? Or does it forge the exact kind of battle-tested momentum you absolutely need to survive the insanely hostile, high-altitude environment of the Azteca Stadium? As we look ahead, I'll leave you to chew on that. Was this grueling trial a blinking warning sign, or the precise wake-up call England needed to go all the way?